There was a person who badly wanted to become a radio jockey. The person had worked up with his communication skills, and he was really passionate to become a radio jockey, and he was actually having a visual in his mind, a very big picture held in his mind that so many people will listen to his voice. Speaking about 1930s and 1940s, where radio was one supreme source of entertainment, and also it was a very big vintage initiative for making people come together. So he wanted to host a program where people's network will be emphasized, and he really wanted that job very badly. But before that, he was working in the harbor as just an ordinary box carrier. So he went to the radio station and he told the man, "Sir, I need a job." And the person said, I would really like to give you a job, but right now we don't have any current vacancies, so just try 2 months or 3 months later. He said, "Thank you, sir, much appreciated." The next day, again in the early morning, by 7:30, when the radio station was ready to host the program, he stood in front of the boss and he asked, "Good morning, sir." "Yes, didn't I meet you yesterday?" the boss asked. "Yes, sir, we met yesterday." "And didn't I say you that we don't have any job current openings yesterday?" And the person said, "Yes, sir, you did say that, right? Then what brings you today?" He said, "I thought somebody might have been absent today, so I thought of giving a stopgap arrangement and I will fill the place." "Well, we are a very good company. We don't have much absenteeism, so thank you so much. Your services are not needed today." "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much." The person left. The third day, the person again comes in the morning at 9 o'clock and he says, "Good morning, sir. Very nice meeting you today." "Yes, sir, my name is, I know your name. I told you yesterday. And we are meeting for the third time, if I believe right." "Yes, sir. Yesterday I was here. And today I thought somebody would have been fired or resigned or dismissed or something, so I thought of filling the job." He said, "No, we haven't got any emergency situation where we can fire somebody. And don't you think any pessimistic terms like this. We don't need your service." This time the boss was even more harsh. Fourth day, the person again comes and stands in front of the boss as if nothing has been happening in the past previous 3 days. And he stands in front of the boss and says, "Good morning, sir," even more energetically. And he said, "What do you want today?" And he asked him, "Sir, I thought somebody who had been fatally, might have expired or passed away or something. So I thought of filling the job." How rude and how ridiculous you are. You're predicting somebody to have a fatal accident today so that you can fill the job just to prove a point of getting an appointment. You are having this kind of a prediction. "Well, sir, survival of the fittest," he said. The boss did not like his attitude, but he was literally stunned with this kind of perspiring attitude of getting a job. Finally, on the fifth day, he again comes. After 4 declines, he stands in front of the boss and he says, "Good morning, sir. How are you today?" The boss kept silent for some time and said, "Go get me a coffee." "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much." And he said, "I just asked you to get a cup of coffee. That's it. That's it, sir, because for the past 4 days you have been driving me out like a crazy person. But today it's much better. Something is better than nothing." He ran away and he got a cup of coffee for the boss. And several weeks he was giving only coffee, and he was doing lots of other kinds of stop fill, gap arrangement jobs like picking up the files, getting it signatured, and this, that, etc. And he was, getting into various other departments as well. And one day something happened that the current persisting radio jockey was consuming alcohol while he was hosting the program. Right? And it was a Saturday afternoon, and nobody was very much abundantly available in that radio station except this particular person who is in a stopgap arrangement, who is badly looking for a job. And this guy was consuming alcohol and he was hosting the program. And the MD came across this news and he immediately phoned up to the station. And our hero picked up the phone and he said, "This guy says that he cannot continue the program because he is so much drunk and he's not able to get into his senses." And he says, "I know, sir. I'm seeing everything." "Right, so can you go into the station and pick up somebody else so that they can fill in the program?" "Thank you, sir. I will find out somebody." He hangs up the phone. There is no one in the radio station. But what he does is, he told the boss that he will find someone but he immediately called up his mom and said that, Mom, exactly at 2:30 in the afternoon, tune up the radio because I'm going to come on the air, he says. The mom was very much surprised. You got a job? She said, no, I'm likely to get a job. And then again, he places a call back to his boss and says that, sir, for the past 20 minutes, I've been waiting. Nobody turned up. There is no person in the station except me, he says. Okay, well, do you have hands-on experience on being a radio jockey? I don't have much experience, sir, but I'm really passionate about it. Maybe if you give a chance, I can definitely do that. Right, do one thing. Ask the person to leave and take up the controls, put on your headphone, and host the program today. No matter what happens, just give your best. I trust in you. The person was flying in the air, and he was very persistent until this point of time, waiting for his boss to give him orders. And he immediately went on, and he had no hesitation to put on the headphone, and he started hosting the program. And with his brim voice, he attracted so many of the listeners. And it went on a continuing basis, and eventually, after a week's time, after continuous programming of afternoon shows, and after continuous recordings listened by the boss, he was very much impressed with his voice modulation and accent, and he gave him a contract. And then he became an employee. That ends the story. But let me trigger out a question to you. What did you understand from this story, and what kind of trait did you really like in that person who was looking for a job in that radio station? Number one, his approach. Number two, his attitude. Number three, his way of believing in himself. Number four, his transformation and his effort to pacify the boss in order to issue him a contract. What really made you feel so much impressed? That's what is my question here. Because so many times we have a very big lacuna. Sometimes we are expecting very convenient transformation without taking any inconvenience. Sometimes we are looking for a change without taking any self-disciplined efforts. This guy was having self-discipline right from approaching the boss continuously for 5 days till waiting in the radio station for grabbing the opportunity. He was very self-disciplined. So most of the time, our self-discipline and our hunger for success really make us get one step forward. So in a short video, I thought of giving this two insights. One, be self-disciplined. Two, stay hungry of your goals. So that's what I wanted to communicate with this short story.